What's going on, Philly sports fans? It's me. It's your boy SalG, and you're tuning in to the Wraparound on It's a Rap Network. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to It's a Rap Network. Subscribe on YouTube. Check it out. It's right there on banner below. Hope you're all having a good night. Good night, and it was a good weekend in Philadelphia sports, I'd say. How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Yeah! Man, oh my goodness. The Eagles put a whooping on the Cowboys in Dallas. It's the first time that's happened that the Eagles won in Dallas on the road against the Cowboys since 2017. And we all know what happened in 2017, right? Super Bowl, baby. They won the Super Bowl. That's right. So, is this team destined to do that again? I mean, I'm looking at this team right now. They look like a pretty darn complete team right now. I mean, it seemed like it took them a few weeks to get going. They didn't hit their stride till after they came out of the bye. They came out of the bye. Now they're firing on all cylinders. I mean, the offense, the defense, special teams playing well. This looks like a really complete team. I mean, the defense that we had to deal with last year from this team, it's a complete 180 from what you see now. So credit to Vic Fangio. Yes, also credit to Nick Sirianni. Uh, he's a good coach. And I know I've given him a lot of crap lately. I cannot give him crap at the moment because right now I'm looking at the rest of the Eagles schedule and I have 13 wins. 13 wins from the Eagles. And there's some losses sprinkled in there. I have them losing a game at Washington. I have them losing a game at Baltimore, but I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see how they're going to lose many more games. I mean, this team looks like it's ready to contend for a Super Bowl. You know, Detroit, did they I mean, they scared me, but now I watched their game last night. They won that game. They barely eked out that victory. Jared Goff, what, threw five picks? Was it, or was it six? Threw a lot of interceptions. And with our defense going against that team right now, if Goff's going to be pick prone, I think this team can do well against him. They match up well. So 34-6, bludgeoning of the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, I know they got some excuses. Dak Prescott wasn't playing. Franchise quarterback, most likely going to be out for the rest of the year, getting a hamstring surgery. Apparently, the meat's falling off the bone there, but the Cowboys didn't put him on IR yet. They will. Their season's done. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McCarthy, the coaching staff, Jerry Jones just cleans house. CeeDee Lamb is playing through an AC sprain. If he's not 100%, why play him? Cowboys will probably be better served just tanking or just not playing their best players and trying to get a better draft pick for next year. But I would say their season is officially over. Cooper Rush, Pooper Rush, Pooper, because that guy was doo-doo. He stunk, man. I mean, and 2 years ago, while Prescott was hurt, Rush played. He started 5 games for the Cowboys in 2022, and his last start in 2022 came against the Eagles. Rush was 4-1 in those starts. Only loss was to the Birds, and he threw picks in that start against the Birds. I believe it was 3 interceptions, and the Cowboys lost that game in 22, 26-17. And in this game, Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, they combined for 49 passing yards. That's right. That is the lowest passing yard total for the Cowboys since 2001, when Quincy Carter was most likely at the helm and the Eagles put up, or the Cowboys scored, had 28 passing yards, and that was against Baltimore. So that's wild stuff. Wild stuff here. Eagles have now, with the win against the Cowboys, have now won 5 straight games and have won their last 6 out of 7. They are now 7-2 atop the NFC East. They play the 7-3 Washington Commanders on Thursday, and that's going to be a great matchup. The winner there is going to be ahead right now. Yes, first to 8 wins, so that will be your NFC East leader. So that's a big game on Thursday. It's a short week for the Eagles, short week for Washington. We get to play the Commanders in our home field. I see a win there. I don't see how they're going to win. And speaking of victories, this victory against the Cowboys and hurt was the first for Sirianni on the road. He was 0-3 on the road against the Cowboys. Also the first for Hurts on the road, obviously. The Eagles, no, sorry. Eagles, all right, their defense is only allowing 16.2 points per game. That is second to the San Diego Chargers, who also have a pretty good darn defense. And for Jalen Hurts, he's been money. Right now, here's some stats for him. First time that an Eagles quarterback has had a 40-yard completion pass in 5 consecutive games since who? Randall Cunningham. That's right. Scrambling Randall back in 1992. And Randall had himself a great year back then. And I believe he rushed for just under 1,000 yards. I want to say the number's like 972 or something like that. But he was close to 1,000. Had a heck of a year. Fun stat for the Cowboys. Fun stat for the Eagles fans. Probably not so fun if you're a Cowboys fan. Cowboys almost had as many turnovers as points scored. They had 5 turnovers yesterday and scored 6 points. Just one more turnover there, and they could have tied for points. It's pretty wild if you think about it. And those 5 turnovers were the most the Eagles have ever had in Dallas. And that history between those two clubs goes back a long time. And hopefully some good news. There's a chance that Jordan Mailata could be ready to play on Thursday. He's off the IR. I don't think they would start him. But if they don't, tackle Fred Johnson has been playing very well in his place. The Eagles have been 4-0 since Fred Johnson filled in at left tackle for Jordan Mailata. So that's pretty good there. I'd say that's pretty darn good. 10 takeaways in the last 3 games for the Birds. 10 takeaways in their last 3 games for the Eagles. In their previous 21 games, 12 takeaways. You don't got to be a math major there to see that this defense is just on another level right now. And, their defense last year and the year before, I don't think we're that good. So it seems that the Eagles had a slow start. I saw an article in CBS. Saquon Barkley said, while Eagles fans, the media may have been panicking about the Eagles, they haven't been panicking. They've been treating the first part of the season like extended preseason games. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe it's just you have new coaches in here. You have Kellen Moore that came in, offensive coordinator. Vic Fangio came in for the defense. Maybe it just took a few games to just get everything going, get the players to buy into the system, get the coaches to, have faith in the players, call plays that emphasize their strengths, limit their weaknesses. But just coming out of the bye in week 5, the Eagles have emerged as a totally different team. They haven't lost a game since. They're at the top of the NFC East right now after a 2-2 start. Eagles won 5 consecutive games by a convincing margin. They have a plus 82 point differential. It's second in the NFL. Detroit Lions are first at plus 91. That's pretty darn good. They've scored the 5th most points in the league since week 6. That's 147 points, and allowed the second fewest, 65, during that span. So I'd say You add all that up, that's a recipe for success. You should win many games. If you could score way more than your opponent, and your opponent does not score, that many points there, you're holding them, you're making plays. Philadelphia first in the NFL in rush yards per game, 194. Third in offensive points scored per game, 29.4. Since week 6. And then the defense has emerged as one of the best in the league. They rank first in yards per game allowed, 200.8. First in yards per play, 3.7. First in pass yards per game allowed, 122.6. And second in rush yards per game allowed, 78.2. Oh, yeah. And they're also first in points per game allowed, 13. So the Eagles knew that the talent that the team has here, they just needed to put it all together. And it seems like, Sirianni and I'm mixing things in a bowl right now. That's what I'm doing. Making this hand gesture. People are like, what the hell is he doing? That's what I'm doing. I'm mixing all these ingredients up, the players, the plays, the coaches, and you're getting the output that the Eagles are showing you right now. I mean, it's just dominating. Dominating. Zach Bond. Can we please sign Zach Bond? Bond? Yeah, all over the field, butt whooping, finishing with 8 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. He's on a 1-year deal, $1.5 million. Now, I don't know if the Eagles have tried, reached out to the agent or not, but they got to try something out here, because the longer you wait, Bond is going to get a payday. He is going to get some bags of cash thrown his way. Over the past 3 games for Zach Bond, he has 30 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, an interception. So, it shouldn't be a surprise that his play, Nakobe Dean's play, Vic Fangio's calls on defense, all that play there is leading to what the Eagles are doing right now. They're just destroying everybody. $1.5 million, $1.5 million. The Saints didn't know how to use him, what to do with him. He barely played. I don't know why. We got a diamond in the rough here. The only player in the NFL with 80-plus tackles, 2-plus sacks, and an interception this season. Pay that man his money. Please, pay that guy. And the Eagles defense, along with Zach Bond, is kicking butt, tied for 4th in the league, points per game allowed. This is overall now. 17.9, second in yards per game allowed, 274.1, second in yards per play allowed, 4.8. The Eagles are also third in red zone defense, 42.3%, and pass yards per game allowed, 173.4. That's Zach Bond. That's Nakobe Dean. That's Kenyon Mitchell. That's Cooper DeJean. Vic Fangio. That's what's happening here. It's a culmination of things. Am I crazy? Am I crazy thinking these guys can win the Super Bowl? I mean, I know I'm a homer, but I don't think I have green colored glasses on. I think this team's really, really good. I'm really, really freaking good right now. I mean, 6th overall on offense. Their defense, 2nd overall. It's amazing what they're able to do against the run and the pass. Kicking butts, guys. My man Adam saying, what's up, Sal? What's going on, Adam? Please make sure you hit that like, smash the subscribe button. I'm getting alerts here on my stream. I'm always having some problems here, man. I think it's just me. My former life was an IT support guy, and computers did not like me at all, guys. They did not. But Jalen Hurts, man. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Case for MVP? For sure, right? He's right there with Lamar Jackson. I think so. 14 for 20, 202 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. It was the first giveaway for Hurts in 4 games. He also gave up a fumble in this game. It's all right. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, tough players for sure. Hurts also did it on the ground. 7 rushing attempts, 56 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. One was your push, and the other one was an 8-yard scamper. There was talk prior to the game, couple days, press conference with Sirianni. Sirianni mentioned that Hurts had an ankle injury. Now, if he did, I didn't see it in this game, but it's weird how that came out because the media was just asking Hurts being out of practice because it was noted as being rest. So there was no talk about him being injured at all until Sirianni said, "Yeah, he's out. He's out with an ankle injury," and everybody's like, "What? His ankle's hurt? It says rest here. It says he's out because of rest." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought you guys were talking about something else." So best believe the NFL is going to give the Philadelphia Eagles a call and see what the hell is going on there. Maybe that Sirianni uses some gamesmanship, BSing about the injury, just throwing it out there like a coy dog and just trying to be slick. I don't know. Or maybe he's got something going on and he didn't want to disclose it to the Cowboys, to the opposing team, because, maybe if his ankle's hurt, the opposing team can target that injury. I don't know, but you're supposed to disclose injuries if he indeed has one. And that may or may not have happened. I don't know. That's kind of strange. Saquon Barkley, he came off the field a few times. He looked like he was stretching, might have been a little sore. Barkley, 14 rushing attempts for 66 yards. It's the first time in 4 games, 4 pass games, where he didn't have over 100 scrimmage yards for Barkley. But, Barkley's the man. He's like on pace for like 400 touches. So, I think you got to ease up a bit. It's great that you have Barkley. I agree. You run him into the ground. I mean, this is your chance to win a Super Bowl, get that championship ring. Use Barkley because he seems to be that missing piece that we needed. And now you got this defense that's just giving opposing teams fits. I don't care if your name's Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, or Dak Prescott. Whoever would have been starting out there yesterday would have had some problems for sure. Not not to mention that the stadium. Who are the engineers that designed Cowboy Stadium? I can't believe all that sunlight was coming through. It looked like the heavens were just they opened up and just shining their light down on Cowboy Stadium. But that is some serious sunlight coming through. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how they designed it that way. CeeDee Lamb had a touchdown opportunity there. Cooper Rush missed them. Lamb was, gesturing with his hand and his helmet, basically saying he couldn't see it. So he had a chance to catch a touchdown, but he lost it in the sun. Who knows how many other plays were botched? Perhaps that had an effect on Hurts. Perhaps it had an effect on more of Rush's throws in play. I mean, that sunlight was disastrous. That stadium has to cost a couple $1 billion. It's unreal to me. Unreal. Let's see here. Just checking something out on this stream real quick. All right. Anyway, trade deadline came and went. Eagles didn't make a move. Hey, I thought maybe they needed to. I thought they were going to. Howie Roseman always seems to make moves at the deadline. First time in 4 seasons that the Eagles did not make a move. Should they have? Should they have not have? I don't know if there was anybody there that was available. There was a pass rusher, Zadarius Smith. I forgot what team he played for, but he ended up going to the Lions to replace their star, Aiden Hutchinson, who was lost for the season due to an injury. There was also some news reports about the Eagles possibly moving on from Bryce Huff, as he only had 6 snaps during the Jacksonville Jaguars game. His snaps were again limited in yesterday's game. He had a little bit more. He seems to be nursing some type of injury himself right now. So maybe they wanted to trade him. Maybe they couldn't because he's a little banged up. I don't know. But he seems to be coming around a bit. They paid him a lot of money. He was supposed to be your Hassan Reddick upgrade. You're not seeing that level of production that Reddick gave you from the edge. He's not really getting to the quarterback. He got to him yesterday, I believe. Huff might have had a sack, or he was involved in one of the turnovers. Seems like every Eagles defender was involved in a takeaway yesterday. But going back to the trade deadline for the Eagles, they didn't make their. It seemed like their big splash move was in the offseason where they acquired former Penn State receiver and Washington Commanders receiver Jahan Dotson and a 2025 fifth-round pick from the Commanders in exchange for a third-round pick from the Eagles and two 2025 seventh-round picks. Now, Dotson hasn't necessarily been setting the world on fire, but he's been playing a little better. These past couple of weeks, he's had some nice plays. Yesterday, he had a catch for like 27 yards. It's something. He's your number 3 receiver. I mean, you have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, you know, 2 alpha dog receivers. Dotson ain't going to get that much play, right? But the Birds only have 7 draft picks in 2025, so maybe there wasn't much draft capital for them. And then going back to the previous years in trades, Howie Roseman traded a 4th-round pick for running back Jay Ajayi in 2017. Remember Jay Ajayi, guys? And then the 3rd-round pick in 2018 for wide receiver Golden Tate, 4th-round pick in 2019 for defensive end Jannard Avery, and a 4th-round pick in 2022 for defensive end Robert Quinn, and 5th and 6th-round picks and safety Terrell Edmonds in 2023 for safety Kevin Byard. So that's the Birds. So no moves at the offseason. No moves. Adam saying Eagles looking great right now. Keep it going. Saying they know the sunlight is coming through. They should put up a curtain to keep the sunlight out. Something. I mean, those holes were gaping. I mean, you had craziness, guys. Craziness. Why mess up what they got going? They are in a groove. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't want to disrupt this chemistry of this team. These guys are playing. They're playing their butts off. I mean, I got to give Sirianni credit, right? I got to give Sirianni credit. Maybe the credit I need to give Sirianni, though, is that he listened to his players. Maybe he listened to his coaches, where perhaps in the past that wasn't something he was willing to do. They said during the bye week, Brian Baldinger said it. Players went up to Sirianni, said, yo, can we run the ball more? Because we got Barkley here. Maybe switch things up a bit. And they've been doing it. My man Phil Stifle in the house. What's going on, Philly Phil? Says Zach Bourne. Pay that man his money. He knows the deal. Rounders, baby. That's the movie. Check it out if you've never seen it. Good performances there. John Malkovich. Was it now Matt Damon and Edward Norton? That's a great movie, man. Love that movie. Frank Daniel in the house. My prediction for Thursday night, pain. The prediction, the Eagles are going to beat the Commanders. I'm going to say they're going to win 23-20. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit, but that's my score. The number's in my head. I'm going to say 23-20 Eagles. Jerry's World always has something going on and drama too. Jerry Jones is a character, man. I mean, you know what? We love to hate him because he's something else in the NFL. He's nuts. He's vocal. I heard CeeDee Lamb was complaining about the sunlight coming through, and Jerry Jones was saying it's not a sunlight problem, and saying, we weren't winning games with Dak Prescott, so Cooper Rush doesn't change things much. I mean, he's just rocking the boat there on his team, man. That ship's sinking, man. He's going to be the last one getting off, I guess. But I think some heads are going to roll. Mike McCarthy, I assume his days are numbered in Dallas. Too bad. I don't know who's going there next. Maybe Bill Parcells. Not Bill Parcells. Jesus. Not Parcells. The New England guy. What the hell is his name? Bill Belichick. That's right. And his 24-year-old girlfriend. Maybe they'll be going there. It's going to be fun on Thursday, man. That's must-see TV. It's going to be on Amazon. Well, I guess we should be able to watch it, right? Is that going to be out? We got to pay for it. Shouldn't be. Phillies, Eagles should go to watch it. But it's going to be on Amazon. But I'm pretty sure the game will be on our local TV stations here in Philadelphia. So, all right. And before we go on to our next sport here, Adam says prediction 31-17. All right, I like it. I like it, Adam. Let's go Eagles, man. I mean, geez, a few weeks ago, I was a doubter. I thought Sirianni stinks. And now I'm eating my hat, I guess. I don't know. All right. Well, the Eagles weren't the only team to win yesterday. The 76ers pulled off a win. Oh, my God. They won a game. It's a miracle, guys. It is a miracle. They snapped a 5-game winless streak, their first win at home. The Eagles are now 2-7 against the Charlotte Hornets, who are not really a good team themselves, but they've been, no, they're not a good team. They're not a good team. And I'll get into it, but we'll talk about yesterday's win. So rookie Jared McCain, man, credit to him. He showed up and showed out yesterday. Had himself a game last night. Finished with 27 points in 31 minutes off the bench. Shot 10 from 18 from the field and 3 for 8 from three-point land. So that's a 20-year-old kid there. And hey, man, give him some playing time. You're going to keep playing like that, man. You're going to play. And, we know Tyrese Maxey's going to be out for a while. Set to miss at least multiple weeks with that hamstring injury. It sucks. It sucks because now you just got Paul George back. And Embiid is going to come back tomorrow. And they're going to play in this ridiculous NBA Cup round robin against the Knicks, whatever the heck that is, in season tournament. What's it mean? What does a team that wins it? I don't know much about it. Maybe I should look into it more. Do they get like extra draft picks or something? I mean, what do you get? Just a trophy? Here you go. Here's the consolation prize, participation ribbon. Like, I don't know. What's the point of it? But McCain had himself a good game, and Gershon Yabu came into the lineup and had 20 points on 8 rebounds. So some guy stepped in. Yabusele, power forward, so we need a big man in there while Embiid's out. He's out playing Drummond, right now. Drummond's not looking so great. So Embiid serving that 3-game suspension for the locker room shove of sports writer Marcus Hayes. So he should return. He's supposed to return tomorrow in that game against the Knicks. And, we're going to have Embiid and Paul George playing together. But, man, are the Sixers in trouble? Because we're supposed to have this big 3 with, I would say, Tyrese Maxey leading the way because he's your youngest and maybe your most talented of the 3 right now. You have Joel Embiid, who has an injury history. He's known for being injury prone, right? You have Paul George, who isn't young himself, who also is dealing with injuries, right? And you have Maxey here. There are going to be times where Embiid's not going to play because he's not going to play in back-to-back games, like he said. Paul George might be out here and there and you can't say maintenance anymore, especially if it's a prime time holiday game at night on TNT, whatever. That's a ridiculous rule the NBA has. But are you going to get the 3 of these guys that consistently play together? And I know the goal is have them healthy for the playoffs. Maybe they'll bring in another body or two, a big piece at the trade deadline. That would be nice. But are they in trouble? I mean, are they snake bit? Are they just, the process that's been touted, for years by Josh Harris, Sixers ownership, never materialized. Nothing ever happened. The Sixers get knocked out in the first round, second round of the playoffs. That's it. There's no finals. There's no championships here. We're supposed to win more than one by now. We haven't won one yet. So are they legit title contenders? Do they lack the talent? Is it a talent thing? Chemistry thing? Is it the right fit? I mean, Embiid getting upset at the reporter. I know what the reporter wrote. You don't write about people's families. I get that. And I'd be pissed too. But the reaction from Embiid, is he Philly tough? And all you guys from Philly, you know what I'm talking about. The players, the players that come here to play in all sports, fans will give it to you. Fans will give it to you when you're not playing well. They boo the crap out of you. And then when you're playing great, they love you to the moon and back. But if you don't have that mentality, you can't survive here. The city will eat you up. You can't let an article, no matter how personal it is, you can't let it piss you off, can't put hands on people, you know. I don't know. Like, I know I'm not an athlete. I'm just saying if I were, I would never read crap that anybody wrote about me. I wouldn't look at any of that stuff. There's a reason why sports psychology is a thing. I mean, there are athletes who see psychologists on how to deal with games, with losing, with criticism, things like that. I remember Alex Rodriguez, baseball player for years. Played most of his career with the Yankees. He went to see a sports psychologist, and that was the thing. And he was one of the best players in baseball. So I don't know. I don't know if they just don't have the right guys. It's just you don't have it. It's just not going to work no matter what you do, or they're just unlucky because Embiid, as much hate as he gets, I don't think he's soft. Broken orbital bones aren't soft injuries. It's not common. Um, I don't think you could do anything to prevent that. You break your face twice. You put on, like, the Phantom of the Opera mask. You go out there and play. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that, but let's see. I'm saying, did I see Embiid is playing tonight? Tomorrow. They don't play tonight. I don't think. I only saw the Flyers playing tonight. Okay, and Frank's saying he's eligible to return tomorrow. They need to get everyone healthy and stay healthy. Yeah, and that's the thing. And the stupid maintenance rules that the NBA has. It's so dumb. Like, you can't bench a guy. I don't know. Certain prime, whatever. Certain games, uh, whatever. Certain big market games, big televised games, you can't bench a guy. Maintenance. You can't do load management. But with Embiid, you need to do load management because if you don't, you're gonna lose him for multiple weeks or the season. He can't play back to back. He said it, and Nick Nurse said it. You can't, and it is what it is. You know, Tall guys that play on a court, running up and down, are gonna get knee problems. I mean, most of these guys do, and it's tough. It's tough when you're 7 feet tall. Jumping up and down. It hurts those knees. Not an excuse. They make millions of dollars, but I'm just saying, it's got to be some. You got to be able to have some type of load management for players, where you not get fined for it, or be able to talk about it and not get fined for it, and crap like that. I just think it's stupid. So Sixers, they got the Knicks tomorrow. Played in That's at home. Play Cleveland at home. Then we're at Orlando and then at Miami. That rounds out your week. And Miami's next Monday. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if I'm optimistic to play, but about Yabusele and Jared McCain, but you're not going to be able to depend on those guys every night. Paul George, Maxey when he gets back, hopefully sooner than later, and then Embiid. Just keep Embiid healthy, keep him away from a-hole reporters, and I think he'll be okay. All right, let's see here. Next up, around the horn here. So make sure I didn't miss something here. No, that's it for the Sixers. That's it for the Sixers. All right. On to the Flyers. The Flyers are playing right now. Please tell me, whoever's watching the game, Matvey Mishkov is playing. Please tell me he's playing, because he was benched. He was a healthy scratch the last two games. John Tortorella is trying to discipline him. let them learn the game a bit, I guess, from the skybox and watch the game from there. Um, don't know if he's playing. He better be playing. You can't bench Mitchkoff at home. You can't because this team is not good. All right, they're not going to win the playoffs. I like what I'm seeing from them. They're playing hard. They play to the end. They fight. They lost a close game the other night. They lost in a shootout, 5-round shootout to Florida Panthers, who, yeah, won the Stanley Cup last year in Florida. So it was a pretty darn good performance by the Fly Guys. But you got to play. Well, why are you benching your young guys here? You got to play them. All right, that you sent Jetlachenko down to the minors to get more seasoning. Okay, he's 18. I get it. But Mitchkoff, man, generational talent. Let him play. I mean, sitting more than 2 games. If he's sitting a third game now at home, I can see those Flyer fans riding because there's not much. There's not much to see in Philadelphia right now for the Flyers. So fans are paying their money to go to the Wells Fargo Center to watch Matvei Michkov play, and he doesn't play at home. You're doing a disservice to your fan base, your loyal fan base. And you could say that the Philadelphia Flyers fan base is the most loyal out of all the 4 major sports in Philadelphia. I believe that because win or lose, those fans come out and they cheer that team on. They're always there. So he better be playing tonight. Somebody that's seen the game, let me know. If he's not playing, I'm pissed. Serious. Gonna riot up in that place. But luckily, some good news for the Flyers. We got the return of Sam Ersson. He came back. And you know what? I'm intrigued by Tony Dick. Anthony Richard. Tony Dick is a great nickname, by the way. So I hope he sticks up here. He's not a young guy. He's 27, AHL player. He came up right now to give the team some depth after Ryan Poehling went on the IR with personal injuries or personal issues. He's at home right now, but I believe he's a little banged up too. But I think there's something at home he's dealing with, and hopefully, whatever's going on at home is Ryan Poehling and his family are going to be okay, and everything's going to be all right. But you got Anthony Richard right now. He's flashing some speed on the ice. He scored a goal yesterday. Tony Dick. That's Anthony Richard, baby. The Flyers. Yeah, they played a heck of a game against them. So Anthony Richard had a goal, and the Flyers were on a hell of a tough road trip. 3 games on the road against 3 Stanley Cup contenders: Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Florida, your defending champs. They went 1-1-1 against them. That's pretty darn good. I mean, if you would have told me they would win 0-3, I would have been like, okay. If you would have told me they won 1 game, I would have been like, all right. But the fact that they had a chance to win all 3 games, I mean, all 3 games were close. They got 3 points on that road trip. I mean, that's saying something. That's saying something. So, they're looking good. And if they stink, you always got the hashtag horrible for Hagens. And if they really stink, if they're toilet crappers, then they're horrendous for Hagens. But either way, we have a future to look forward to with the Flyers. Starts with Matvei Michkov. Play him, John Tortorella. I like it, John. You're crazy, Torts. You're a little unorthodox with your moves. You have a way about you. But I know you're trying to do what you're doing to better this team in the end. But play Michkov when he's at home. Please. Please play him. All right. I'm saying hopefully everyone is back on Christmas Day against Boston. I'm assuming that's the Sixers we're talking about, because NBA is big on Christmas. And you can't bench anybody on Christmas. Don't bench the stars. Flyers winning 1-0. Yes, they're winning. Eric Johnson, I saw, scored a goal. Defenseman with a wrist shot. And an assist by Tony Dick. So hashtag Tony Dick. Let's go. Let's go. And Michkov is playing tonight. All right. Smart move, Philadelphia Flyers, Tortorella, Danny Briere, Keith Jones, all you guys. Good job. Keep them playing, man. That's what fans want to go see because they're not going to win many games. I'll be honest, but I'm happy to watch them. I'm covering them here. I'm doing a lot of post game shows for the Flyers. By the way, clear the ice. Check it out. I'm going to run that right now. Check this out, guys. Clear the ice here. The comment. I botched it. I'm really botching it. Come on. What am I doing? All right. There we go. Check it out. Check it out. Clear the ice. Your Flyers post-game show here on It's a Wrap Network. Matty B is on the bump tonight. He's between the pipes. He will be covering the game after it ends against the Sharks. That is a cool logo, though, with the Sharks, right? Just tearing into a hockey stick. And then Thursday, we got Matty B again. That's the Ottawa Senators. And then you got me on Saturday, that good-looking guy, SalG. SalG going against the Buffalo Sabres. Pat LaFontaine. Back in the day, if you remember, NHL 93 for the Sega. Adam showing some love. Appreciate it. Adam says, great show, Sal. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We're not done yet, man. We're still going to talk about some Phillies, man. I can't end the show without some Phillies talk. I appreciate everybody hanging in with me tonight. Please smash that like button, share, hit subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Help us out, and we'll help you out by getting great content out to you. Oh, my dinner's coming up on me. Excuse me. So let's talk about the Phillies for a second. So, my favorite part of the baseball season, honestly, might be the hot stove. That's everything leading up to the season. Once the season ends, I know we had the disappointment. It didn't work out the way we wanted to. Phillies fans, we lost to the Mets in the NLDS. It sucks. But now we could talk about what we can do to make this team better for next year. And the biggest free agent out there, obviously, is Juan Soto. He's going to command a contract upwards of $600 to $700 million. You're looking at least 10 to 15 years there. He's going to probably make an annual average salary of about, $45 to $50 million. So, he's that good too because he's a young guy. But I don't think the Phillies can get him. Now, John Middleton, owner of the Phillies, or majority owner, or the speaking owner, because there's multiple owners on the Phillies. Apparently, they brought on 2 more anonymous owners, and I don't know why you'd want to be a part of a team and be anonymous, but whatever. But John Middleton said they will increase payroll. Now, they are naturally going to increase payroll next year with all their arbitration-eligible players. The salaries are going to go up, even if they don't do anything. They don't sign anybody. They're going to go up anyway. So hopefully he's just not saying increasing payroll by de facto increasing payroll, that it's just going to go up naturally, because it is. But it would be cool if they go try and get Soto. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's a lot of money. I almost wish the Yankees won the World Series, because if they won the World Series, they might have been more willing to part with Soto and let him go. Because it's like, you won the World Series. All right, now let the guy walk, go get the bag somewhere else. But you got to think, Yankees fans, you know how they are. They're passionate, just like Philly fans are, about their baseball. They didn't win the World Series. If they let Soto walk and say Soto goes to the Dodgers, who just won the World Series, beat the Yankees fans are going to go pit. They're going to get pissed. They're going to riot in the streets. They're going to tear the Bronx up. They want Soto back. Most likely scenario is he's going to go back there. That's what I see. If not there, New York Mets are a possibility, because they have a giant payroll, obviously. And I just saw a news blurb on my phone. It said the Toronto Blue Jays are in hard on Soto. Now, Blue Jays aren't known to being a big market team, but you might as well throw your hat in the ring, right? Just give it a shot. See, and also you want to price enforce. I mean, that's a real thing. Teams do that because you don't want to be just one team bidding on a guy, and it's then they end up getting them for a song. You want to drive the price up. So even if you're just a team in the back that's just stirring crap up, you want to do it because you don't want the Yankees or the Dodgers to get Soto for 400 million if you could jack the price up just by saying, "Hey, we'll give you 500, we'll give you 550," and maybe knowing that he's not going to take it, but you just want to keep that price up. So price enforcing, it's a real thing in sports. I know they do it in baseball. You want to be in on the big names. Doesn't mean you're going to land them. The Phillies were in on Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year. They didn't get him in the Dodgers. Apparently, they offered him more money. I think he went to the Dodgers because of Shohei Ohtani. There's a connection there with Japan. It's easier to travel to Japan from LA than it would be obviously from New York. Um, because you think they don't travel from New York. If you're going to Asia, you don't go from New York to you know cross through Europe and all that. You would go the other. You actually go the other way. So you fly from LA. But Soto would be a nice get. I don't think it's going to happen, but keep your hat in there, Phillies. Price and force. See what happens. But all's not lost. If we don't get Juan Soto, there are all options there. There's Tyler O'Neill, who's a right-handed power outfield bat that the Phillies could use. He hit 31 home runs last year and he missed 50 games. So power is huge with him. Put him in left field. You know, it could be a defensive liability, but he wouldn't be any worse than having Kyle Schwarber out there. You know, so you could put him there. That gives you a right-handed bat. It's an option. You could platoon him with Marsh if you want to too. That way you can help keep O'Neill fresh. And then also, I think upgrading the bullpen for the Phillies is going to be a priority. It's something they're going to have to do. Charlie Sheen, Carlos Estevez, he's gone. I don't want him back. He's got a flat fastball. Yeah, he throws 100 miles an hour, but you saw what Francisco Lindor did. He deposited that into left field for a grand slam. So you can get Blake Trinan and let Carlos Estevez walk. Blake Trinan on a 1-year deal. He played for the Dodgers last year. Maybe the Dodgers won't bring him back if they end up getting the man, my face ain't showing. All right, there I am. Oh man, all that talking. I just saw my wife gave me a heads up. Appreciate it, wifey. You're the best. But you got Blake Trinan there. You can get him. Jeff Hoffman, you got to re-sign him. I knew he blew up at the end there. You got to re-sign him. You need him. He's probably going to command a 3-year deal. You're looking at like 12 to 14 million dollars a year. You got to give it to him. But if you don't get him, then you got to get a guy like Trinan. But you can make multiple moves. Another idea that's thrown around is trading Alec Boehm for a reliever like Milwaukee's Devin Williams. That gives you a closer there. And then you sign Alex Bregman to play third. And Bregman, it gives you a little more pop with the bat. Boehm only hit 14 home runs. Bregman, I believe, hit 24, 25. Bregman has a high on base percentage. He's older, right? They're similar profiles to Boehm, but I think if you could do something like that where you trade Boehm, you get in a nice reliever here, and you could sign a Bregman, that's a nice fallback option to Soto because it's not realistic. It's not. I want it to happen. We'll see. You heard it here first. Phillies 2025 World Series champs. Go get Soto. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate you. Give me the heads up, too. Take down the Clear the Ice banner. It is blocking on the screen. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. But some other Phillies news here. Preston Mattingly has now been promoted to vice president and general manager as Sam Fold is pursuing his MBA and will then transition to a front office position for the Phillies, which will be like the president of business operations. And if the name Mattingly sounds familiar, it should. Preston is the son of baseball legend Don Mattingly, a.k.a. Donnie Baseball. Now, having Preston here, could that mean maybe one day Don Mattingly takes over as the manager once Thompson retires. That's a possibility. I know Matty B talked about having Don Mattingly as a manager before. And, if Thompson retires, when they win the World Series next year, Thompson rides off in the sunset. Hey, man, I'll take Don Mattingly. Sure. Looking at the Phillies baseball contract right now, their team contract. They finished 2024. The payroll was $261.8 million. And just their normal raises alone, if the team does nothing else, you're looking at $281.6 million. So I wonder, I don't think the Phillies want to hit that next level of luxury tax in baseball. So I wonder if some salary gets shifted around. Could they move into Castellanos? I don't want them to, but that's always an option there. But anyway, it should be an interesting offseason for the Phillies. Look, I want Soto. I want it to happen, but if it doesn't, all's not lost. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Man, I was covering my pretty face for a long time, but that's all right. But I appreciate it. Let's go, Philadelphia sports teams. We've got another great week of Philly sports, and I'll be talking to you next week here on the Wraparound, here on It's a Wrap Network, and I'll also be checking in with you on Saturday as I do Clear the Ice here. The Clear the Ice, the Flyers post-game show on It's a Wrap. So I appreciate it, everyone. Hope you all have a great night. Talk to you next time. Take care, everyone. Peace!
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I'm so everybody know I'm on. You know when the click through. Send this about to be a so big vibe.